The dismemberment of a deserter by chaining his limbs to 4 motorcycles among Dement's forces. One knowledgeable guy named the History Man offers to teach her the history and geopolitics of the wasteland, but she does not show any interest. One day Dementus and his forces are out exploring the wasteland when they come across a war boy, a soldier of the forces of Immortan Joe from the Citadel. Dementus tells him that they are looking for a utopian area called the Place of Abundance and inquires if the war boy knows anything about it. The confused guy replies that his home, the Citadel, has an abundance of water and food. Thus Dementus and his minions follow his directions to the Citadel. Once there, Dementus gives a rousing speech to the poor, starving and common people. He tells them that if they cast down their leaders, they'll avoid suffering and sorrow. He further claims that they've been enslaved and exploited, but if they come to him, he will free them and they will all share the wealth. In the meantime, the ruthless leader of the Citadel, Immortan Joe, watches Dementus give his speech. This makes him really angry and annoyed. He then challenges his foe to select a single war boy from the ranks of hundreds that guard the Citadel. When Dementus does so, Immortan Joe orders the selected war boy to leap from a cliff with an explosive weapon called the Thunder Stick. Second later, the war boy jumps off the cliff without any hesitation and explodes when he hits the ground, wiping out one section of the enemy force. This makes Dementus realize that the war boys are so brainwashed that they don't even hesitate to end their own lives to protect Immortan Joe. Just then, the remaining war boys swarm Dement's convoy, forcing them to retreat. With his forces now diminished, Dementus comes up with a new plan to capture one of the 3 fortresses of Thay. Just days after the dust-up at Citadel, our cunning hero and his band of renegades pull a fast one on Immortan Joe's convoy en route to Gast town. They not only brawl their way to seizing a fuel truck but also cook up a brilliant disguise as war boys. Acting like they're under siege, they hoodwink the Gast town gatekeepers into opening the gates. Once inside, it's showtime. They swiftly take control, keep the gates wide open, and, bam, their army floods in and takes over Gast town. But wait, there's more mischief. Our mastermind, Dementus, turns Gast town into a ticking time bomb, literally setting it up to blow. He then zooms back to Citadel to have a little chit-chat with the big bad, Immortan Joe. Here's the kicker: Dementus has the only deactivation code for the bombs. With a sly grin, he throws down an ultimatum: if they want Gast town in one piece, they better crown him the king of the gasoline jungle.
Just when you thought things couldn't get more intense at Gast town, Immortan Joe just had to spot Furiosa in the crowd, dazzled by her rare healthy appearance in such a desolate wasteland. But hold your gas cans, folks. Dementus, quick on his feet, claims Furiosa is his own little D, and get this, he says she's mute. Plot twist. Furiosa shatters her supposed silence, boldly stating that Dementus is not her pops and that he actually offed her mom. Ouch. With the drama peaking, Immortan Joe, ever the opportunist, strikes a deal but insists on snagging Furiosa for himself. Dementus, though heartbroken, hands her over, but not without snatching back the teddy bear he'd given her. Talk about petty. Then, it's off to Immortan Joe's harem for Furiosa, prepped to join his collection of wives once she hits her prime. That night, amidst her new glummed eggs, Furiosa plots, because in the wasteland, it's always check, not mate. Imagine this: a daring Furiosa sneaking around, chopping off her luxurious locks, and fixing them back with DIY glue. Just when you think she's cornered by Immortan Joe's eager son, Russ Erectus, she delivers a stunning slip away and ducks under a bridge. Russ, unaware and not wanting a scolding, casually shrugs it off as if she's just vanished into thin air. With days turning into a suspenseful blur, Furiosa, now a master of disguise, transforms herself into a boy and slips into the crew of Immortan Joe. She lands in the adrenaline-packed heart of Holy Motors, a place bustling with folks jazzed about crafting armored vehicles. Our mute heroine keeps her real identity under wraps to dodge recognition. The plot thickens as they hammer and weld away, creating a monstrous war rig, a beast of a truck primed for fetching fuel and ammo. And who's slated to drive this beast? None other than the skillful Praetorian.
In a dramatic twist, Furiosa pulls a gun on Jack, aiming to hijack the war rig. Jack, hardly breaking a sweat, disarms her, leaving her stranded on that desolate road. Just when you think Furiosa is out of the game, guess what? Jack has a last-minute change of heart. With his crew gone and a clean slate ahead, he decides they're going to team up. Talk about a plot twist. Just when you thought Furiosa couldn't get any cooler, she ups her game. Recruited for her slick fighting skills and ninja-like composure, Furiosa is promised the ultimate survival kit, training, a vehicle, and some killer weapons. Sounds like a sweet deal, right? As she embarks on adrenaline-pumping runs with Thor and Jack, sparks fly between her and Jack, romance is in the air. But things take a twist when they roll into Gast town for a routine fuel stop. Chaos reigns supreme, supplies are scarce, and Dementus' grip on the town is slipping faster than a greased pig on roller skates. They hightail it out of there faster than you can say, turbo boost. Back at base, Joe sends them on a new mission to Bullet Farm to stock up on ammo. But hold on to your hats, Jack and Furiosa are cooking up their own little scheme. They plan to grab the ammo, ditch the war boys, and head for the mythical green place. Can they pull it off? Stay tuned. Imagine this, our heroes, Jack and Furiosa, roll up in the mighty Valkyrie, only to find Bullet Farm under the wild rampage of Dementus and his goons. The smackdown begins as they barge through the gates, Furiosa poised and ready with her sniper. She takes aim at Dementus, but whoosh, he dodges like it's nothing. Chaos ensues, and alas, the Valkyrie is history. With no choice left, our duo makes a break for it in a random car. But guess what? Dementus, persistent as ever, tailgates them with his crazed crew. In a desperate move, Furiosa wields a boomstick, courtesy of Jack, but oh no, tragedy strikes. Her arm is crushed in a brutal clash between cars. In the blink of an eye, Dementus rams them, wrecks their ride, and captures the pair. There's a twist though, Dementus chains Furiosa just like her mother years ago, clueless that she's the same fearless girl he once captured. And then, the icing on this chaotic cake, he asks, where is? And what's his next grim move? He chains poor Praetorian Jack to a motorcycle, dragging him mercilessly across the rough terrain until, alas, Jack meets his gruesome end. Meanwhile, in a twist of fate and ferocity, Furiosa, in a daring act of survival, chops off her injured left arm and zooms away on a bike. Hours later, battered but unbroken, she storms back into the Citadel, armless, loverless, yet unyielded. She's lost both her partner and a precious arm, which, by the way, had a map tattooed on it leading to the fabled green place. But does she wallow in despair? Nope. She slaps some maggots on her stump to keep the infection at bay. Talk about hardcore. She even rigs up a nifty new mechanical arm. Back to Joe, fueled by rage and the burning desire for vengeance, he kicks off the epic 40-day wasteland war to obliterate Dementus and his biker minions for good.
Alright, buckle up. In the gritty expanse of the wasteland, Furiosa, driven by vengeance, literally puts the pedal to the metal. Crafting a mean machine from scraps, her motley crew from Immortan Joe's reserves anoints her with a badass moniker, the darkest of angels. As our engine revving angel tears across the dust, a desperate Dementus and his dwindling biker horde try to make a run for it. Almost out of luck and gas, their exit strategy turns sour when Furiosa swoops in, leaving no stone unturned, nor a wheel on Dementus's motorbike. After stripping him of water, ammo, and his last rim while he snoozed off, she boldly faces him at dawn. The encounter is chilling as she demands, remember me? But nope, Dementus is clueless. The only memory flickering in his tortured mind, the fierce woman haunting him since pre-Praetorian Jack days. Now, that's what you call a fear-inducing wake-up call. Imagine this wild scene. Dementus, thinking he's clever, snatches what he believes to be a knife from Furiosa's boot, only to discover it's just a useless handle. Oh, the irony. And there he goes, trying to smooth talk his way out of this, claiming, it's just instinct. But Furiosa isn't having any of it. She's in full revenge mode, echoing the screams of her tortured past. Wham! She strikes, relentless, leaving him out cold. When he finally snaps back to reality, Furiosa is inspecting his teddy bear. Yes, a teddy bear in this wild tale. In this flash of recognition, Dementus gasps, calling her Little D. Surprisingly, he declares his twisted pride in what she's become, a merciless figure of vengeance. The drama, the twists. What a scene.